If you've been gardening for any length of time, you've probably noticed how quickly bags of potting soil add up. One season you're buying premium, the next season it's organic, and before you know it, you've spent more on soil than seeds. Here at the Soil Science Garden, I want to challenge that idea completely. Because the truth is, once you understand how soil really works, there's almost no reason to keep buying potting soil again. This isn't about cutting corners or doing things the hard way. It's about working smarter, building living soil, and using what you already have around you. Whether you're growing in containers, raised beds, or garden beds, the goal is the same. Create a reusable soil system that gets better every single year. Let's break down exactly how to do that. Why store-bought potting soil is, well, really just a temporary solution. Most commercial potting mixes are designed for convenience, not longevity. They're usually made from peat or coco coir, mixed with perlite and just a small amount of fertilizer. At first, your plants look amazing. Growth is fast, leaves are green, and everything seems, just perfect. But after a few weeks or months, that soil collapses. Nutrients are depleted, microbial life is almost non-existent, and water either drains too fast or not fast enough. By the next season, many gardeners toss it out and buy new bags, repeating the cycle. The biggest secret most gardeners don't realize is that soil isn't supposed to be replaced. It's supposed to be regenerated. Healthy soil is alive, and once you learn how to feed that life, you stop relying on bags forever. The foundation of reusable soil is organic matter. If there's one thing that makes soil endlessly reusable, it's organic matter. This is the heart of everything we talk about here on the Soil Science Garden. Organic matter includes compost, decomposed leaves, kitchen scraps, grass clippings, and aged manure. When you add these materials to your soil, you're not just adding nutrients, you're feeding billions of microorganisms. These microbes break organic matter down slowly, releasing nutrients in a way plants can actually use. The beauty of this system is that organic matter improves soil structure over time. Instead of compacting or breaking down, your soil becomes fluffier, darker, and better at holding moisture while still draining properly. That's what turns old, tired soil into something better than anything you can buy. Compost your free potting soil factory. If you're not composting yet, this is where everything changes. Compost is essentially homemade potting soil, but better. You don't need a fancy bin or expensive setup. A simple pile, bucket, or corner of the garden works just fine. Kitchen scraps like vegetable peels, coffee grounds, and eggshells combine beautifully with dry materials like leaves, cardboard, or straw. Over time, nature does the work for you. What makes compost so powerful is, balance. It provides nutrients, improves structure, and introduces beneficial microbes all at once. When you mix finished compost into old potting soil or garden soil, you're really giving it a second life. Do this every season, and that soil never needs replacing again. Reviving old potting soil instead of throwing it away, now that's a smart move. One of the most common mistakes gardeners make is dumping old potting soil at the end of the season. That soil isn't dead, it's just hungry. To revive it, start by loosening it up. Break apart compacted chunks and remove old roots. Then blend in compost, a bit of garden soil, or even leaf mold if you have it. This reintroduces organic matter and microbial life. If drainage is an issue, you can add sand rice hulls or even some crushed dry leaves. But if water runs through too fast, compost and worm castings help retain moisture naturally. After a short rest period, that soil is ready to grow again, often better than when it was new. Understanding soil life changes everything. Once you realize that soil is alive, your entire approach to gardening, well, it really shifts. Healthy soil contains bacteria, fungi, earthworms, insects, and countless microorganisms all working together. These organisms create nutrient cycles that no bottled fertilizer can replicate. Fungi extend plant root systems. Bacteria convert nutrients into usable forms, and earthworms aerate the soil while adding castings rich in nutrients. The key is to stop disturbing soil too much. Excessive digging, turning, and replacing soil breaks these natural systems. Instead, focus on top dressing with compost and organic matter. Let life do the heavy lifting. Container gardening without buying new soil. Many gardeners believe container gardening requires fresh soil every season. That's simply not true. Containers are actually easier to manage because you control everything. After harvesting, cut plants at the base instead of pulling them out. Leave the roots to decompose naturally. Add compost on top, mix lightly, and your container soil renews itself. Over time, container soil becomes richer and more stable. You'll notice improved water retention, fewer nutrient deficiencies, and stronger plants. With this approach, one container of soil can last for years. Mulch. The secret weapon for long-term soil health. Mulching is one of the most underrated gardening practices, yet it's essential if you want soil that improves instead of degrades. Organic mulch like straw leaves, wood chips, or grass clippings protects the soil surface, reduces moisture loss, and feeds microbes as it breaks down. It also prevents compaction from rain and watering. Think of mulch as slow-release compost. Every time it decomposes, it becomes part of the soil itself. This is how natural ecosystems build soil without human intervention, and we can copy that process in our gardens. Making your own soil mix from what you have? Well, instead of buying potting soil, try thinking in terms of building a soil blend using the materials you already have on hand. Garden soil, it provides minerals and, of course, structure. Compost adds nutrients and, life to the mix. And organic residues, they improve texture and help with moisture control. There's no perfect recipe, and honestly, that's a good thing. Soil adapts to your environment, climate, and your plants. As you observe how your soil behaves, you'll just instinctively know what it needs. That kind of knowledge is far more valuable than any label on a bag. Long-term benefits you'll actually notice. When you stop buying potting soil and start building soil, the results are obvious. Plants become more resilient to heat, drought, and pests. Growth becomes steady instead of explosive and weak. You water less, fertilize less, and harvest more. Most importantly, gardening becomes less expensive and more rewarding. You're no longer dependent on stores, you're working with nature, not against it. Final thoughts from the Soil Science Garden. Gardening isn't about chasing products, it's about understanding systems. Once you learn how soil works, you unlock the ability to grow food and plants sustainably, affordably, and confidently, year after year. If this article helped you see soil differently, make sure you subscribe to the Soil Science Garden on YouTube for more deep, practical gardening knowledge. Share this with a fellow gardener who's tired of buying potting soil every season, and let's grow healthier gardens together.